If you've never made a calzone before, then this is the perfect place to start.
To begin, we're going to start with making the pizza dough, and it couldn't be more simple. In a bowl, I've got 500 grams of bread flour. So place that into one side of the bowl, and then into that I'm going to place 7 grams or 1 sachet of fast action or active dried yeast. And then on the opposite side, place in 5 grams of salt. And next you can pour in your water. I've got 325 milliliters here. This is just a guideline because all different types of flour will absorb different amounts of water. So this is a good place to start. But if you feel your dough is too dry, you can add a little splash more water. Next, mix the ingredients together to form a rough dough, and then we're going to turn it out onto a workbench. You knead for between 5 and 10 minutes until it becomes smooth and elastic. And once you've finished kneading and it's nice and smooth like this, you can take some olive oil, or any oil really, and just drizzle it into the bottom of the bowl, place in your dough, and this is just to prevent it from sticking and keep it nice and supple and soft. I'll add a little bit on top and just rub that in. So it looks like this. We're then going to cover it with a damp cloth and leave it to rise until it's doubled in size, so that'll take roughly around 1 hour in a warm place. You can take it out of the bowl and divide it into 4 equal sized pieces. Then take each piece and roll it into a ball. We'll then dust a tray with flour and place our dough balls onto it. Cover and leave to rise for another 45 minutes to 1 hour if using straight away, or you can place them in the fridge and leave them overnight for a nice slow ferment. So now that our dough is made, we're going to get going with our filling. So to begin, we're going to take 1 onion and we're going to dice that up nice and small. So we'll top and tail it, cut it in half, peel it, and then dice it. Next, I've got 250 grams of chestnut mushrooms. I've already cleaned them, so I'm just going to slice them up nice and thin. So next we're going to pre-cook our filling. So place a frying pan over a medium-low heat, and then we're going to place into that 250 grams pancetta lardons, and we're just going to cook them out nice and slow to render out all of that wonderful fat. Apologies, I just realized I only added 125 grams, so I've just added another 125 grams. It's now 250 grams of pancetta in the pan. And once you can see that the fat's rendered out, you can add in your onions and mushrooms and then cook them down along with the pancetta until nice and soft. Season with a little pinch of salt and a good grind of black pepper, but go easy on the salt because the pancetta is already salty. So while our filling is cooking away over on the stove, I'm going to place 500 grams of tomato passata into a saucepan, followed by 1 clove of crushed garlic. Then I'm going to roughly chop a small handful of fresh oregano and add that into the pan and season generously with salt and black pepper. I'll then place that over the heat and cook it out until it becomes rich and thick. This should take around 5 to 10 minutes. And once your tomato sauce is thickened up and essentially covered your kitchen in tiny splatters of tomato sauce, you can remove it from your heat. So that's all components now ready, and all we have to do is assemble and bake. To assemble, lightly flour your workbench and then place on one of your pieces of pizza dough. You can either press it out with your hands or you can use a rolling pin and roll it out to a nice round shape. The size that you want it is completely up to you. I then like to place my pizza dough, or at least half of it, onto a sheet of greaseproof paper. And then in one half of the dough, I'll place some of my pancetta and mushroom mixture. And next I'll add a couple of spoonfuls of the tomato sauce. Finally, I'll finish it off with some fresh ricotta, and then we'll fold it over and press it round firmly at the edges. You could leave it like this and bake it as it is, or you can go ahead and crimp the edges as well. Some people place a hole in the top to allow the steam to escape so it doesn't puff up, but I actually quite like it when it puffs up, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And also some people like to spoon over tomato sauce on the top as well. So I'll do it with one of mine just to demonstrate so you can see. This recipe will make 4 calzone pizzas. You can then bake in a preheated oven at around 200 degrees Celsius fan until golden and crisp. You can also add other cheeses in here, such as some mozzarella as well, if you want that stretchy cheese pull. I just want the creaminess of the ricotta, so I'm going ahead with that. So that is now the calzone pizza ready, and all we have to do is cut them in half and see what they're like inside. So there you go, calzone pizza at home. That tastes so good. That pancetta with the creamy ricotta, what a combination. I really hope you enjoyed this one and you give them a try for yourself. Thanks for watching, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.